is up? How are you, Leah?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you in not like workout clothes. Some
I mean, I kind of still am, but at least
yeah.
challenged.
Let's say that we got stuck in the elevator. We're going to the 25th floor, and you have like 30 seconds to a minute. Give me a short bio on you. Tell me about Leah Baker.
Leah Baker. Well, I'm a stay-at-home mom, even though my kids now are older, but I was a teacher before I stayed home. I taught for 10 years, family consumer sciences. And then my husband, Brian, had the opportunity to move to Maryland. So we moved here. He promised me I could stay home for a year, which turned into now 12. So,
Awesome.
which has been wonderful because I can do everything that the house needs, everything my husband needs, my kids need. And I also can focus on myself, which is really good for my mental health because our house has a lot of anxiety in it, has a lot of, I don't know, we're just a very anxious ADHD family.
Mhm.
So to have that time to myself when everybody is doing their own thing is a nice thing. And I'm very good at routine. So I feel better about myself when I'm in a routine. So we like to travel. We like to go to the beach and we like to do things as a family. But as the kids are getting older, they'd rather be out with their friends than with us.
Yeah, that starts to happen at that age.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man, I was just talking to one of my clients just yesterday, and he's like, "How old are you kids?" I said, "I got a 6 year old and like about almost a 1 year old." He goes, "Oh yeah, you're still cool. You'll be cool, right? Like for another like 4 or 5 years, and then you're
Uh,
not gonna be cool anymore."
yes.
He goes, "With your son, in about like 10 years, everything turns into a competition. Oh, I could do this faster than you. I could do that better than you, and then after that, he'll want nothing to do with you. It's all about
Yep.
his."
That's pretty much it.
All right, so that's about you. Tell me about your fitness journey. Tell me about like the process of you. Um, I know a little bit about it, but like give me a review.
Well, really, I'm 44 and I really didn't start focusing on fitness until I was 29. At 29, I was like, okay, I'm overweight. The only way I know how to get skinny is to not eat and
Mhm.
work out all the time. And so I went to a nutritionist, Brian and I both did. And it was like the first time I went to somebody that was like, you can still enjoy the things you like and work out and lose weight. And because I'm a picky eater, it's always hard for me to find the right things to eat because I eat like a 3-year-old still in my life. But I found ways that it works for me. And so at 29, I decided for my 30th birthday, I was going to be fit. I wasn't going to be just like the skinny, hungry person. And I did it. Like I went from, I think I was like 165 pounds and I got down to 112, which
Wow.
was a big, I mean, that was too much. It was like, I was probably overachieving, but at 30, I could do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's also true.
Then came along kids, and I really focused on, I was more working out for the social part of it. So I started
Yeah,
running, started going to like power train because all my friends were doing it. I was doing Moms on the Run, I was doing
yeah.
Fit for Mom. So stroller strides, it was always with my kids, it was socializing. So it was really like I wasn't really focused too much on like what I was doing around
Just doing
people.
something.
Yeah, doing something, being around people, keeping the motivation because somebody knew I was going to show up. So that's really what if I think if somebody asks you something about me, it's that I always show up if I say I'm going to show up. So
Yeah.
I never ditch someone if I'm going to go for a run or go to the gym or be on boot camp. I'm there if somebody's expecting me to be there. So
Yeah.
that helped me through when the kids were younger, just showing up to be social. And
Do you
then,
remember some of the names of the people that you first started initially training with, running with?
oh, definitely Devin.
Yeah.
I mean, she was big influence on running and meeting at the gym at 6 a.m. and like, you know, if you're going to be there, I'm going to be there, wait in the parking lot for each other. Christina, I mean, she was one of the ones that's like, let's start doing 6 a.m. And I was like, ooh, 6 a.m. But as soon as you start, you're motivated to get up and go do it. And people are waiting for you. My friend Amanda Reynolds, I always would run with her, and she came to Power Train. So it was always like definitely showing up for that stuff. So, and then stroller strides, there was a whole bunch of group of us that definitely motivated me. One of my friends, Megan, was like, hey, let's start running. And I was like, I've never ran more than 3 miles. So we started training for a 12 miler, which was, I mean, that was probably the best decision I made, because then I got a whole group of us started running together, and
Yeah.
we ran half marathons together, and we did a whole bunch of things that really got us like, you know, going in mom world, so that,
Yeah.
you know, we had like people to lean on. So, and I feel like I had that for, I don't know, what was it, 7, 8 years, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah. That was the tough part. It kind of threw everything off.
Yeah.
Because social motivation is so strong. It's such a powerful tool. And it's a good tool to use when it's like peer pressure that's pushing us in the right direction, pushing us towards things that are good for us. Yeah.
I never wanted to sit at home knowing that everybody else was doing it, you know, or like,
Yeah, you get that
I don't want to be
FOMO.
sleeping if everyone's at the gym, you know. It may have been my only time to socialize that day, you know. So
True. True.
it was
And
definitely like a motivation to get back into fitness with after having kids, and to stay fit, because, you know, with 2 kids running around, you have to be motivated, you have to have the time for yourself, but also to give it to them to have the energy.
of
So
course, to kind of go back, this is around 2015. I started talking to a trainer that I had bumped into here and there as I was playing professional football, and his name was Steve. Steve had convinced me to leave where I was working and to start training, to take over a power train gym. So I was either going to franchise the gym or take over an existing one. And he was highly invested in reviving the Maryland gym, because at some point he was going to close it down, but he knew he was going to be doing business in Maryland. So it turned into him saying, all right, I'm going to shut this place down unless you go there. So let me train you up. I'm going to send you to Maryland. And at the time, at first, I didn't want to go to Maryland. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go. I got a place in Delaware. I got a place in PA. Like, I just met this girl not too long ago. She's in PA. Went down there a couple times before I had even moved down there. I went down there a couple times just to, like, you know, spend time down there. And I quickly learned that the people there are just awesome. I had worked at that point, I'd worked at about 5 or 6 different powertrain gyms at that
okay.
point. The people down in the one in Maryland, I'm like, oh, these people are different. They're crazy. Like, they are awesome. They are close knit.
Yeah.
They're very, like, kind of like very clicky kind of like groups, and there were a lot of different groups
Yeah.
that had their own personalities and everything. And I couldn't understand, like, I'm like, why would this place is doing well? Like, in my eyes it looks like it's doing well. Like, let me kind of like get down to the nitty gritty and figure out what's happening. So, you know, created my reports. Before I knew it, I was being sent down to Maryland, and I enjoyed it. I really loved it. One of the things that I remember right away was the early morning groups.
Yeah.
I think there was like a 5 a.m.,
Yeah.
6 a.m., like a 10 a.m., or like something like late morning like that. Those groups were awesome. But anyway, going back, do you remember when I started at Powertrain?
Oh yeah.
And what was your first impression?
So I remember when you came, like, you had like pieces of paper out there. It was like, follow me here, follow me on Instagram. And I just thought you were really motivating, like ready to go. Like, I'm going to
Oh,
take
sweet.
pictures. I'm going to show video. I'm going to correct your form. I'm going to do all this stuff. And you were like always awake, always ready to go, like the music
Sweet.
pumping, just so like motivating. Like, it was a good gym, but until you came, I feel like definitely you brought like the energy to the gym and people
Awesome.
wanted to come because you knew everybody right away. Like I feel like you knew everyone's name the first day you were there. You
I
wanted us to
try.
you on Instagram or Facebook or any way that possible. You know, you just put yourself out there, like contact me anytime. And you've always been that way. You started doing like those like nighttime fun groups. Like we had the mom's
Yeah.
night out, 80s
Yeah.
night, and like just different ways to like bring people into the gym to like show them what it was like. Cause you can tell people all you want, but unless they come in, and you were always about like helping the moms. Like you loved the mom groups that were there because there
I
was so
love the
many of
mom
us,
groups.
you know, there was
Yeah.
so many, or the runners. There were so many runners. Like we were all connected, the 5 a.m., the 6 a.m. We all knew each other, you know, and it was
Yeah.
like, it just felt like a big community, like a family in the gym. And that was definitely a part of like you coming in, helping us out, and just, you know, just making it a warm environment.
That's kind of like the person who I am. Always trying to connect with people, always trying to bring people together and bring the
Yep.
energy and motivation. And, oh, and names, that's something that I struggled with a lot when I was younger. Definitely made a conscious effort to read up on books, watch YouTube videos. How do I literally, this is me typing in Google, how do I do a better job of remembering people's names?
Yeah.
I literally have techniques. Sometimes it's I act like I didn't hear you and I say, "What was that?" So you can say it again. And then I repeat it. So your name was said 3 times before
Right.
I
Right.
leave. Sometimes it's literally, all right, what's your Instagram? What's your Facebook? Because when you see someone and then you see their name next to it on their profile and you look at some of their videos, it kind of means more to you when you see their name and their face, name and face. Um, and trying to figure out some important things or interesting facts about them at the same time.
Yeah.
That always helps me too. Making up a song in your head about them or coming up with like a nickname or literally connecting them with another person that you know that has the same name. It was a lot of people by the time I was like 4 or 5 months in. And then I got to I got to kind of lean on the fact that I knew like a bunch of NFL guys, like, hey, I'm in Maryland now. Come on into the gym.
That was super
So
cool.
yeah, that helped grow the place a little bit too. I'm like, hey, Joe, come in, Nick, come
Yep.
in, Eric, come in. Cause I came in the spring. By the time we were like late summer, that place was jumping. It was really fun to be there. But one thing I remember particularly training you, you were always up for a new challenge. You were always up to be almost like my guinea pig. All right, I'm gonna have you do this. You would always look at me like, I don't know if I can do it. You could do it, Leah. Let's do it. I have a video, and I'm probably going to somehow try to get this video onto this podcast, like kind of put it somewhere on. But I have this video of you doing power cleans, of you doing box jumps. I know you hate box jumps, but I made you do box jumps and you just stood out. You definitely stood out. There's a lot of people there, but you stood out because of your consistency,
Mhm.
always there, and you're always willing to step up to a challenge. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. Oh, and you were always willing to send me some cookies around Christmas time.
Of course, still do.
So yeah, that was one of the things that I took away. And fast forward a little bit, I ended up moving away 2017. And back in 2020, the pandemic happens and we meet again.
Yes.
So talk about that.
Well, you know, when pandemic hit, obviously we were all clueless of what to do and like, you know, kind of lost. I was definitely lost when that happened because I was already kind of a little lost going into the pandemic. And then the pandemic hit, and I'm like, now what do I do? And I had a home gym, but I was not motivated to do anything on my own. I don't like to do things on my own. I like to be told what to do. I like people around or even on Zoom now. So you started giving free workouts. I don't know if it was once a day, a couple times a week. I forget what it was, but like I would join as much as I could.
Yeah.
And I always felt so much better when I did those. And then I remember you started your resilience, like actually like, okay, I'm going to do this more consistent. And I
Yeah.
remember messaging you and being like, I want to do this, but are you going to keep doing this? Cause I don't want to join if you're going to like, the
And
gym
stop.
opens and you're out, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, this is my thing. I really like it. This is what we're going to do. And I was like, okay, I'm in. And like, I know I started, it was like August of 2020. I was when I signed up, and I've never looked back. Like I may lose here and there a week or two here, especially in the summer when things are just off schedule. But like
Crazy. And yeah.
I've stayed as consistent as I can for, since 2020.
You've been the most consistent person that I've trained since. And what's crazy is now we've trained, well, we talked about how I just met you in 2016. Now it's 2024.
Right.
We've trained probably a total of like 5 or 6 years. That is really amazing once you think about it. The average lifespan of client and trainer is about 3 months.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So making it 6 years is a crazy, crazy thing.
Yeah.
Um, to the point where if I just say Leah, Jacqueline will know exactly who I'm talking about. Like anyone who, is in my circle will know who I'm talking about. I think one of the coolest things though is how we trained in person and we trained virtually and online. Talk to me about the pros and cons in both the in-person training that we did when we were
Yeah.
in Maryland and the online training that we do now.
Let's see. The pros of the in person was definitely just that you can interact more, you can talk more.
Yeah.
I love hearing all your stories. Like just just it's more personal in the ways that like, while you're doing things, you can be talking more, you can be interacting. Um, in person, if you're at a gym, you're using, I don't know, almost better equipment because you can have a pull-up bar, you can have more assistance from from
Yeah.
like lifting heavy. I won't lift as heavy as I did by myself as I did when I was with you. But that being said, I've seen better results, I feel like, at home because I'm not overlifting. I like bulked up from lifting at a gym because we could go so heavy, right? And
Yeah.
I love that. I wanted that. But now at home, I'm like a little bit leaner because it's more free weights and body weight, opposed to the big heavy machines or
Yeah.
you getting over me with like very heavy things. So
Dumbbells. Yeah.
and like it's a little less interaction of personal wise, but like at the same time you still tell your stories, you still motivate us. I know that you're there, and I think that's also the difference of in person versus virtual. I did the beach bodies and all that stuff, but that's just a recording and nobody knows I'm on and nobody cares. And you do record and we can go back, and I hardly ever do the recorded ones because I want you there. I want you
Yeah.
there. You're cheering me on, and just, I don't know, I'm more motivated when it's one-on-one, which is perfectly fine in my basement. I've bought all the equipment that I needed for boot camp, and I actually love just getting up and going downstairs and like
Yeah.
not having to drive, not worried about if I'm going to get there on time. Like if I'm a few minutes late, I'm still running downstairs.
Yeah.
So there are some benefits of like just getting in, getting it done, and then getting back to my life without driving there, doing what
Yeah.
I need to do, hanging out more, and then driving to where you need to be or whatever. So there was benefits of both, right? But I've really enjoyed virtual, like very much so. Now, if you lived in Maryland, would I want to see you in person? Probably. But
Yeah.
maybe we would do both. But at the
Yeah.
same time, like it's it's just really helped me. I mean, no matter what, every time I work with you, I see benefits.
That is awesome. You know what's crazy about it is I've seen the benefits from online training too because of the contact and the consistency. One of the things that you mentioned on that's super important is adapting to a style of training that's super sustainable,
Mm-hmm.
right? I hate the O word, but as we get more mature,
Yeah.
we need to adapt and find ways to train without getting hurt, without getting injured, without getting too sore to the
Mm.
point where we can't stay consistent. I think one of the most important things in my eyes when it comes to training and my clients is the fact that I've kept injuries, like my clients' injuries, to like a minimum. Rarely is a client coming to me like, oh, that after that workout, like I'm hurt or like I can't do this, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's big. That's big to me because in my mind, I'd rather you be in the workout and sore here and there than out of the workout because we were doing something crazy or doing something too much or overtraining this move or so sustainability has been one of like the number one things in my mind as it comes to like programming our training, as it comes to training myself. And just because of the consistency that we can keep,
Yeah.
you see the gains, you see the results.
Yeah.
I I think the first 60-day challenge we did wasn't until maybe 2021, maybe. I can't remember. Maybe
Makes sense.
21. But I'm like, I guess I'll do the challenge with them. I knew my program works because of other people, but then I did the program with you guys, and then I'm like, oh shoot, this really this
Yeah.
really works.
Yeah.
And after that, it was just one of those things where I started running more just because running became a little more doable. We ran in the challenge, so I'm like, oh, running's not that bad. I lost weight because of the challenge, so I'm like, oh, okay, I could do this. So I ended up running my first organized race that year. Ran like a 10 miler in Charlottesville. Ran a 200-mile relay. After that, on one end, I love in-person training. I'll always forever do that. That's why I've recently partnered with a gym over here so I could get back to like training athletes in
Yeah.
person.
Awesome.
But online training is like it's super convenient. I
Yeah.
love it. I love being able to, like you said, run downstairs to the basement, work out, shower, boom. Like I'm
Yeah.
back in the flow of my day without having to think about going somewhere, waiting in line, like, using
Yeah.
someone else's shower. So
Yeah.
that's been super convenient. I love that we have these instances of doing both. So like
Yeah.
we can like, put them side by side and understand like there's gonna be pros and cons to everything. Being able to enjoy the version that we're doing that has the most pros to it. I
Yeah.
think that's what matters. Talk to me about your daily routine, your lifestyle, and where fitness fits in that and how you fit resilience into that.
Right. I mean, honestly, I work a lot of my day around making sure I hit my exercise. So I get up at 5:40 in the morning so I can get dressed real fast and run downstairs for a 6 a.m. boot camp because I know no matter what, even if I'm tired, I'm like, when I'm done, I feel good and I have
Yeah.
more energy and I'm more patient because I can tell the days that I not worked out, I am not patient in the morning getting the kids to school or out to what they
Mhm.
go to. So it's like you might as well just get up. It's 1 hour, it feels good, it's worth it. And so that's how I start. I try to start my day 4 times a week with the boot camp at 6 a.m. And then we always, I'm very consistent of what I eat. So I always eat the same breakfast, like almost every single day. And then I'll go do like get the kids to school, activities for myself. And then if it's a Wednesday or Friday, jump on strength training when I can. But I try to work my day around getting on that. Like this summer has stunk because most of my kids have to be picked up at noon. So
Yeah.
but during the school year and stuff, it's on my calendar. I have it on my calendar so that I don't miss it. So I work my day around making sure I get those workouts in because I feel like the strength is a good combination with the boot camps that we do. So,
Yeah.
and then running, it just depends on when I have time. Brian and I used to do it every morning at 7 a.m. after boot camp, but then Addie started middle school. So then she had to be up. So I'm like waiting for both kids to get to middle school, and then I can run at 8 a.m. and be a little more consistent with that. But I do try to like get that in when I can, because I do enjoy a good run, especially when it's the challenge. I want to get that done.
Yeah.
And it's just another feeling you get, that runner's high that just lasts. Like it doesn't go away right away. It's like you feel it for the rest of the time.
Wait, let me pause you because I want to brag a little bit about you. Your running recently has gone crazy fast.
Yeah.
Crazy fast. So you sent me, I think it was your 3 mile run, and or maybe we did 2.5. And I was like, maybe you could get it even faster than that. Maybe you could get
Yeah.
it in the 9:00s. And you're like, maybe, I don't know. And then I'm like the whole next week, I'm like waiting. So I'm not sure if you did it Wednesday. I think
I
you
don't think
waited
I
till
probably,
yeah, you
yeah.
waited to the end of the week. So I'm waiting. And the first thing I get the notifications on my phone. So I see like a push notification like Leah Baker finished her this mile run. And I'm like looking at the time. So I kind of saw your time a little bit like before you sent it to me.
Yeah.
But
Because
I
then I
was
sent
I
it
was
to
just
him right away. Like, look what
so what did you did a 9:08
I
pace?
yeah. Yeah. Where I used to
Super.
a year ago, I was at like 10 something.
That's amazing. That's people don't usually get faster like that.
No, I don't know. I don't know what happened, because I don't know. I feel like when I turned 40, I slowed down, and then just this past, it was the two challenges back to back, maybe, that like
Yeah, of
really got in
course.
shape this year, especially like the cardio of me just has like skyrocketed. So that really helps. And I think I'm not a I'm our whole family doesn't sit much. We don't sit much at our house. So
Yeah.
I like to be active. I like to do things. I'm not like like I said before, I don't motivate myself to go like work out if it's not like a thing, meeting
Yeah.
somebody online, but like I'm always doing something. Like I'm just
Mhm.
not I don't sit and watch TV very often, like hardly ever. So um that's part of my day. I'm just like always going, doing, cleaning, running errands, just an active person until I'm tired. Then I'm lazy, but
Yeah. That's everybody though.
yeah. So I just try to stay active so that, I mean, our kids keep us busy because they're in sports. So every night
Yeah.
is something. We barely have dinners together, but I try to not stop and get something that's unhealthy to eat most of the time. It's hard if like the
Yeah.
whole team's going out, I'm going to go and enjoy,
Yeah.
or different things like that. But I try to like, if we're going to go to a baseball game, I'll like grab something for myself on the way so that I don't eat awful afterwards because you're starving, that
Yeah.
kind of. So
That's
I do
awesome.
that going.
That's a good thing because that takes planning. That's one of the toughest things. As you can imagine, a lot of the clients that I have are moms.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the clients I have children that are in a bunch of activities.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm wondering, are you over programming your kid? It's like, yeah, they're a part of 3 different baseball teams. I'm like, what? Like
Yeah.
3 different lacrosse. I was in Charlottesville for a while. I had clients who had their kids on 2 different lacrosse teams, and one was here based in Charlottesville, but one was based in DC or one was based in Richmond. I'm like, you're traveling two
Yeah.
hours one way for, I'm like, this is craziness. But anyway, one of the toughest parts of the program was not getting them to, eat healthy while they're home or not even getting them to show up for a workout. One of the toughest parts was getting them to work around this crazy schedule that they had, like getting the kids here, being on the road all the time, being stranded in places where you thought you were going to have time to get home and to cook, and then you're looking at the watch and it's already 7:30. You don't want to be cooking until 9. So the
Yeah.
planning aspect of it is tough. So it sounds like you have at least a good routine or like a mindset around it
Yeah.
where you can plan ahead of time and be proactive. And then sometimes you can just say, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this. And this is the balance, right?
Yeah, it
That
definitely,
matters.
yeah. And that, it all depends on the week, and when I'm in doing a challenge, I'm definitely way more strict of making sure it's planned out so that I don't ruin it. Not ruin it, but like if I don't eat right at dinner, then I don't feel like getting up the next day. Like my body is
Yeah.
too much salt or I have a headache from just not enough water or something like that. So when I want to be really consistent, I definitely plan out everything that goes in my body. I write it all down. I make sure that I keep it, so that I'm not feeling blah the next day.
Yeah. What you said is so important. Well, I say you don't want your weekend to upset your week, or you don't want your night to upset your morning. A
Yeah.
lot of the time when I have clients who can't get up in the morning, like, all right, let's analyze what you're doing the night before. It's like, oh, Netflix till 1 a.m. That's why you can't get up in the morning. And so, oh, 3 glasses of wine. That's why you can't get up in
Yeah.
the morning. So learning how to temper or play around with your day into your evening can affect the next day, can affect the next day after that. So I like that. That's
Yeah.
really important.
Which
That's
I really don't work out on vacation because on vacation, it's like my splurge. Like I eat whatever I
yeah.
want, whenever I
Yep.
want, and I don't make myself work out because it's the time that I give myself to just enjoy because
Yeah.
I get so routine at home that when I go on vacations, I just like to just enjoy it and not worry about like, oh, I can't have that because I'm going to feel sick in the morning or, it's going to give me a headache or whatever. So I just try to like enjoy it when I can and then be a little more consistent when I'm in my routine.
That's a good segue into the next thing I want to talk about. I feel like you setting it up that way was a self-conscious decision that you said, hey, if I do it this way, this is best for my mental health. This is best for framing the way I perceive fitness, health, and everything. When
Yeah.
I am home, I am strict when it comes to waking up early. I'm making my 4 workouts here. I'm making my 2 workouts here. I'm making my run. I'm
Yeah.
making healthy decisions when it comes to this, this, and this. When I'm away, I'm not thinking about any of that shit.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yep.
talk to me about the balance. Well, first of all, talk to me about that balance. Oh, and you mentioned challenge, and there's going to be people who watch this who are like, she said challenges. Like, what?
Yeah.
So, talk to me about the challenges because that kind of plays into this. How we were strict for this 60 days. We're in July right now, so for about 4 months out of 6, you were really strict with your fitness and everything. So, talk to me about the balance that you've created for yourself. Talk to me about how that plays a role with your mental health.
Well, it's funny because the balance comes, I think I'm balancing, and then I'm like, I still get mad at myself for being like, gosh, I should have done that today, or why didn't I just do that today, or I could have just went out and ran, or, I do beat myself up. But at the same time, I do try to balance it out so that, I did the first 60-day challenge of the year. The winter one is always awesome for me because I feel like I can be the most consistent because we don't do as much in the winter.
That's true.
So, um, I don't even think I missed like a workout during the winter time just
Didn't
because my schedule, allowed me to be on when I needed to be on. I find the challenges that are 60 days really motivating because I've done so many now. I've probably done 5, 6 of them, something like that. I find them very motivating because there's always something to do, and there's the challenge that you set up each day for us, and then I challenge myself because I don't want to be the one not doing it. Like I've said before,
Yeah.
like I never want to be the one that's not doing something.
Yeah.
Because there's results at the end, and even if I know I'm not going to win, which I won once.
Yeah, you did.
So if I know I'm not going to win, I still want to be like a leader. I still want to
Yeah.
be doing it, because you get onto the Facebook page and I'm like, oh gosh, I didn't do that today. And like, even if I can't get my run in, I'm like, man, I wish I could have ran because everybody else did. And, you know, but I also find the balance of, okay, I didn't get to do that today. I'll plan that for Friday when I know I can get up and do that at 6 a.m. because I really do well at 6 a.m. in the morning. Like that's just like my time to shine in the day. I am not a stay up late person. I love to go to bed by 10 o'clock, like if I can,
Yeah.
so um the balance of that and just like everyday life is just trying to put what I've learned into my everyday life without overdoing. Like it's okay to enjoy I enjoy my birthday. I enjoy other people's birthdays. I enjoy vacation. And I'll have days or weeks that I'm like, nah, whatever, I'm good. It's more of like I can look at the scale and be like, okay, I don't really like that number right now. And I know what to do to like knock that weight off pretty quickly, unless I've gone too far. But that doesn't happen very often,
Yeah.
so it's just keeping consistency. Consistency is definitely key, and not looking at something like just in like, oh, just today, just tomorrow. It's not a sprint, right? It's not
Yeah.
as fast as I can, because it sucks when you get on a scale or your clothes don't fit and you're like, gosh, why did I do this again? And you're like, you work hard for 2 days and you're like, oh gosh, this is not going well.
Yeah.
But I know, because I've done it so many times, um, that it does work if you stick with it. If you work hard, you let yourself enjoy things if you need to, you stay consistent, you work hard, you listen to what Coach Mike wants you to do, and reaching out to you. You're amazing, because I'll text you and be like, gosh, this isn't a good week. Sorry I didn't get up, whatever. And you're like, that's what your body needs. That's what you're doing right now. Just get back to it when you can. You're never like, yeah, where were you? But like
Yeah.
you're never mean about it. That's what I like about you the most, is just you're always motivating no matter what mood I might come to you in. So always
Yeah.
motivating. Like you'll get it, you can, so
And at the same time, I'll get into you like, you could go faster.
yeah, exactly. Oh, you can do faster than that next time. I'm like, and then I'm running. I'm like, okay, I can do it faster, even though
I
I'm
can do it.
not.
I can do it. That's amazing, though. I think that takes time. It takes self-awareness. It takes some honesty with yourself. A lot of people struggle with that. A lot of even fit people who are fitness influencers or trainers or fitness professionals, they struggle with this balance of, I have to look this way all the time. I have to be this fit all the time. I can't miss a workout. I can't do this. I can't do that. And they set up these walls and these borders where they can't enjoy the fullness of life because they're so concerned about these things. And one of the things you said that's so important is we should be looking at this thing as like a marathon. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life thing. If time is your enemy, then your goals are probably in the wrong spot, right? Time should be your friend. Like you're working with time, you give yourself time. One of the things that I've always appreciated about you is that you will be the most consistent. And then as soon as you miss one day, you're like, no, I'm not consistent, coach. I'm just, and I'm like, no, you're still consistent. Consistent doesn't mean you make every single workout in the world.
Right.
Consistent means that even when you take your breaks, you know you're coming back. And that pattern is the consistency. And I've seen you get so many good results over the past few years. I remember you messaging me about hey, I'm crushing this pistol squat now. I can pistol squat. I remember you banging out push-ups one time. And you're like, coach, I hit like 20 push-ups and I feel strong. I remember you telling me about sit-ups. You're like, my abs feel strong. Now I'm looking at your runs. I'm like, your pace looks fast. Other people are like, oh, Leah, you're looking fast. Like your times are like that makes me so happy because a lot of people think, oh, you hit 30, you're done. Oh, 35, you're done. Oh, you're creeping up to 40, you're
Yeah.
done for. And
Right.
to see you getting stronger, fitter, faster, that's just a testament to your consistency because none of
Yeah.
this was gained in one day or
No.
2 days or three. It took a long time. I
Yeah.
compared your I think it was your 3 mile run. I compared your 3 mile, or maybe it was even your 4 mile run from this year to like the challenge 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And you were like 40 seconds or 50 seconds per mile faster.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. People don't do that. Like
Right.
people really don't do that. Even if people were training specifically to get faster, people rarely get that much faster if they were training for it. And it's not like we're training specifically for a run. We're just training to
Yeah.
train. And that's happening. So that is a testament to your hard work and your consistency over the years. You talked about the results that
Mhm.
you got from the challenge, but we didn't really actually mention them. So kind of combine all the results from the two challenges. It's basically 4 out of the past 6 months. We're in month 7. Do you remember what like its cumulative results were? Because you posted it.
I lost 20 pounds from January to June, which was awesome. Why I gained those 20 pounds, I have no idea. But you know, but
Life.
I'm where I want to be, which is really good.
Yeah.
Inches wise, I know I lost a good amount, but I didn't. I was so mad at myself in January of how I looked. I didn't measure my inches in January
That's
because I
fine.
was like, I don't care. Because I honestly wasn't even gonna do the challenge,
I
but
remember you messaged me. You're like, what's it looking like? Did people sign up yet? I'm like, oh, we have some people that might do it. You're like, I kind of don't want to do it.
yeah,
And I think I said, you should do it. You
yeah.
should definitely do
And
it.
Brian
And you're like, okay, I might.
do it. And I was like, he's like, aren't you doing it? I was like, I don't know. It was like the day before. He's like, you should do it. So it was just
Good.
kind of one of those like, I'm just gonna do it, but I don't think I'm really gonna do well. So I didn't measure anything. I just, I was like, whatever. But then when April came, I'm like, I am measuring this time because I saw the results before. I'm like, I want to know this time. And I lost a good amount of inches. Like, and the best part was once May hit and I started wearing shorts and short sleeves, people were commenting like, wow, like you looked really toned. What are you doing? Like one of my friends, Melissa in the neighborhood, she saw me running one day and she texted me. She's like, wow, you look good running. Like, and like I felt strong. I mean, she caught me on a downhill, but still, I was like, flying and like I was wearing a sports bra and capris, and I never wear a sports bra running. And like, I just felt good and it's just like
Yeah.
start noticing that you look toned or that you've lost the weight, and like you can hide it in the winter if you've gained weight, but like as the summer's approaching and I'm putting the tank tops on, I'm like, all right, I can see the tone in my arms. It was mostly, I feel like my arms, my chest, and my legs
Yeah.
lost a good amount of inches. Like,
I think you were doing a plank in the challenge. And I had to comment. I'm like,
yeah,
yo, look at your shoulders, your arms.
yeah.
They look good.
I know. I wanted to like screenshot that and blow it up because I love the way my shoulders looked. I was like, I even showed Brian, I'm like, look at this.
Good, good.
Yeah.
That's the best feeling. It's the best feeling when what you're feeling on the inside, you're hearing it validated on the outside. That's the best feeling. Because if you weren't feeling good on the inside and someone complimented your outside, that's kind of like hollow, you know?
Yeah.
You kind of be like,
Yeah.
like in the back of your mind, you're like, I only look this thin because I'm starving myself or I'm sick but when you feel good and you feel strong and then you think in your mind, like, and sometimes you don't always see it because you see yourself every single day. But when someone else comments and they see it and they go, wow, you start to feel really good. You're like, oh, this is working. It keeps you motivated to keep going.
when I can see it, then I'm like, okay, like I really am motivated then. Like if I can see it, because I'm like the last person that sees it, you know? So
Oh, okay.
I see it and I saw it in that video. I was like, okay, keep going stronger, because I was just like proud of what I saw, you know? And
Yeah.
that was exciting.
Talking about proud, one of the things I have here in my notes, how has this whole fitness journey of yours, how has it affected your, because you said you're a mom, you said you're a wife, how has it affected your kids and your husband? Wait,
Well,
before you answer, because I don't want you to miss this. I actually know for a fact that your husband was motivated by you, so he decided to join one of the challenges, and he actually won one of the
well,
challenges. So I'm gonna preface it with that. All right, now answer the question: how has your fitness journey affected your children and affected your partner?
it's definitely affected my children from seeing that I'm motivated. And I talk about you and I'm like, oh, Coach Mike, we did this in class. And like they see that I work hard. And I like that they see that I work hard, because growing up, I didn't know how to work out. I didn't know, you know, the right ways to do things. And I love when my kids want to go down to the basement. You've seen them join classes sometimes. They may not
Yeah.
stay time, but they want to come in and do a burpee, or they want to do the with me. And so it's a good motivation for them to see that their mom works hard and I'm not just a mom, you know, like
Yeah.
they think I sit at home waiting for their phone calls and to get there for them every day. But like I do like that they see that I come back from a run, and that I come up from the basement because I just did a class, or that they
Yeah.
join things. So they are they're very, you know, they're very active kids too, but I like the fact that they know that their mom is motivated to stay healthy. And
Yeah.
they like arm wrestle me. I'm pretty sure Chase is stronger than me now, but at least he admitted that I was getting stronger this past 6 months.
There you
Like he was
go.
like, oh mom, you got some muscle going again. Like so that's
The
good. I
bet.
like see that, hey, sometimes I might not have it and sometimes I do, and that's okay, because I'm always trying, you know, and that's what I always
Yeah.
tell them. I'm working on it. I'm trying to do that. I'm doing the best I can do. When I did I think it was the 5 mile run and it was so hot out, I called Addie. I'm like, maybe at the playground, I need a Gatorade. And she like came running with a Gatorade and a towel. And she's like, I'm so proud of, like, she was really proud of me for like getting out there and doing it. And like,
Yeah.
just that it's just fun to see their motivation, I guess, because of my motivation. So
Yeah. The
I
best
like,
thing for your kids to know is mom is strong. Like
yeah,
that's the best thing.
yeah,
Like mom, like they already know things. They already know mom cares, mom loves me, mom's nurturing, they know those things. For them to know mom is strong, that's
yeah,
really good.
yeah. I like that. And it's a good role model for Addie, which she's strong because she's a gymnast, but I like her to see that it's good to be strong. You know,
Yeah.
it's awesome to be strong. I wish I was this strong when I was her age. Like it just, you know, it's I always say to her, I want you to be a gymnast, because the strength that you have mentally and physically is so
Yeah.
rewarding at 12 years old. So,
Yeah.
and then with Brian, you know, obviously, like we said, like I did challenges and then he's like, oh my gosh, like these work. Like, and he joined in and he blew it out of the water and won, of course.
Yeah. That must have been annoying.
Do it and just win, you know. And like I definitely feel that I keep him motivated, because I stay consistent. He doesn't always have the time to stay consistent, but if I'm like, hey, want to meet me down in the basement, or we go for our runs, or
Hmm.
got to hit this today, like he's always willing to do it with me. So, you know, if I want to get a certain pace going, he's really good at pacing me. Or
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to do a certain thing, he'll just go out and do it with me. Like he's really good with staying consistent with me, if especially if I ask him to. And
Awesome.
he's very he's proud that I do stay consistent. And I like that he shows me that he's always like, oh, I'm glad you got up this morning. Oh, I'm glad that you did this. And he'll help me out if I'm like, oh man, I really wanted to get to that workout and I can't. He'll be like, just let me know if I can get the kids, I will, like he's,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
like oh well, figure it out kind of thing. He he sees the benefits of how I am a better person when I do work out or stay consistent.
Yeah,
Definitely. So
that's awesome. It's good
yeah,
to have a supportive partner. That's one thing I noticed right away when I do my one-on-one programming.
yeah,
After the first 2 years, I sat down. I'm like trying to psychoanalyze my clients, which are the ones that were consistent and did well, which are the ones who didn't, trying to find like a common denominator between them. And I'm going off of age, I'm going off of, like income, socioeconomic status, and all. I'm like, nothing translates until I really considered, oh, what about what's going on at home?
yeah,
The
yep,
people who did the best were the people who had partners who, you know what, I'm going to do that meal plan with you as
yep,
well. Or, you know what, I'm going to do the workouts with you too. Or maybe I'm not going to do the workouts, but I'm going to make sure that I take the kids or I do this as
yep,
you do your workout. They
yeah,
were the people who did the best.
yep,
So I started saying, all right, if you do the program, basically I'll do like a program for your partner too, because
yeah,
that was the way I was going to get people more consistent and better results because of that.
yeah,
That's awesome. And one thing that kind of bleeds into my next statement or question, kind of not really a question, but kind of like props and a shout out to you. You were talking about being motivating towards the kids, being a motivator towards your husband. You have been a motivator for a lot of people. There's been a lot of people who have done resilience programming because of you,
yeah.
and not only just seeing you because you've been like an ambassador for resilience. So I want to personally thank you. But you tell me, why have you been this resilience magnet? Like you just pull people towards resilience. Why?
Because of you and because it works. And
Oh man.
people ask me what I do. Everyone's always like, oh, what diet are you on? I'm like, I'm not on a diet. I just get up and I consistently follow Coach Mike. And I'm like, give it a try. He's awesome. He's motivating. And honestly, everybody that comes on a workout is always like, oh my gosh, you're right. Like they always are like, he's so nice. He's so consistent. Oh, he gets right back to me. And I really think, I don't know. It just, you and I have a really good relationship when it comes to like consistency, talking with each other. You always are there for me no matter what. And just, I don't know, people see, I post about it, people see my results, people see me in the neighborhood, people see me at different things. And like Tiffany, for example, she's seen me do this for years. And every time
Yeah.
she'd be like, I should do it. I should do it. And I'm like, do it, try it. One class, just try a class. Like anyone can try a class. Come on, I'll meet you there. I mean, she'd always be like, she was always, I don't know what it was, but a lot of people are like that. I just don't, the first time. And then she came on, she's like, you were right. And then I mean, she did awesome, and I'm
Yeah,
like
she did
proud of,
awesome. She's crushing it.
she's still going. And like, I'm really proud of her because I've seen her through different stages too. And she seems motivated again too. And like, that's
Yeah.
awesome. He's like, yeah, Coach Mike, he's awesome, like, so
That is
it's
great.
just, my sister, she'll do the running club
Heather.
and things.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll just be like, I just love him. Like, I just love what he does. Like, I love his motivation. His kids are so cute, just you're so purposeful in everything that you do. It just, I'm always like, just try him because you can go to a gym all you want, but most of the time you're a number, right? And no matter
Yeah.
where you go, unless you go to like personal training, which I don't know really anyone that does that. So I'm just like, come try this. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to talk to them if you don't want to. Just
Yes.
get on the computer, do your thing and go on with your day. And it's just like, as soon as people do, they just see why, I guess, why I enjoy coming consistently over and over again. So Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. That's motivating to me. Um, yeah, I truly believe that it's not weight loss that's complicated. It's not fitness that's too complicated or hard, but it's all these other things that are kind of in the background or underlying that make things a little bit more difficult for these individuals. So, and that's why finding a gym or like a fitness routine online or a diet plan online, that's why those aren't the answers for most people, right? All of that's available, but people are still struggling with that. So it's not those things, the hard things, but it's like figuring out the relationship that you have with food and having someone that, you know, mediate that relationship, or having an accountability partner when it comes to making your workouts or getting to your workouts, or having a coach who's going to push you to your potential or push you to your limit in a way that you feel comfortable getting there, because some people just don't want to get hurt, or some people have never gone to the limits of their potential before, so they need someone to be their guide there. People need those things. And unfortunately, when you go to a gym or even some studios that have small group training, like you
Yeah.
said, unfortunately you're just a number.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't work well when they're just numbers. They want to, you know, they want to have some kind of relationship. Um, and yeah, that's what my big thing is, relationship. I feel like if you could gain someone's trust, then they will, you know, follow you. And if you are a good guide, then you could guide them to wherever they want to go.
Right. Like the first time I ever met you, like, here's my socials, follow me. Like, you want to get to know people, you know, you're never, you're like not a standoff person. You're very interactive, and like you comment on people's, you know, social media stuff. And like, you're just very present. And I think that's why people like it, because you're also consistent, you know, you're always where you say you'll be. Right. So I know
Yeah.
you'll be there. So
Yeah. One of the number one things that I've appreciated about you are those things as well. So the feeling is mutual. I really appreciate the fact that you are always there. One of the most consistent people that I know. So, and that's why your results show for it. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
right, like,
All right, bye, Leah.
bye.